praise the Lord for all of you today. Well, in our life, there could be struggles, fears, weariness, trials, and challenges. But in Jesus, we can find peace, love, comforts, and happiness that never ends. That's why according to Psalms 23 verse 1 to 6, it talks about His presence and His protection in times of danger, when we fear. It's talk about His provision, grace, and supply as in the days of the battle that are enemies. And He will be with us no matter life brings us. Today, I want to share with you all the story of my life. It's not just an ordinary life story, but my life journey with Jesus. Love you all! This is my life story, a journey with Jesus. My name is Elsie Buscano Pace. I do have 20 siblings from Buscano side and Gamayan side. All my siblings has become a tremendous vessels for the glory of God. I'm thankful I have this unique life story. I am a product of both widow couple. My mother, Sipora Patayan Buscano, already had 8 children, and my father, Reverend Elias Buscano Sr., was left with 12 kids. As the 2 widows met and wedded, become their only child. So among all the combined children from each of my parents, I was the youngest in the enormous family tree. I am the 21st in all siblings and the middle point of this magnificent joint family. Both of my parents were a mighty people of prayer and fasting. They woke up early in the morning, 4 a.m., chanting old gospel hymns, exalting God in their life. They were eager to compel us to memorize chapters per chapters in the Bible. Their ministry is notable for leading crusades and handling house-to-house Bible study. They were highly esteemed for their spiritual gift bestowed from above, the gift of healing. There was a time a fellow attempted to shoot my father, holding a gun on his hand miraculously, and he pulls the trigger. There was no blast of gunshot coming out. He was fearfully surprised. He tried to point the gun in the sky. He pulled the trigger. Bang! The gun explodes its bullet. On that day forward, the wave of miracles was unstoppable. People's faith in God's upraised. They generously gave 100 to my father. That time 100 was considerable amount. Not only they gave money, they also gave him a bounty of fruits, rice, chicken, and eggs. I witnessed this overflowing food delivered in our house. As always, in the crack of dawn, I can hear my parents praying to all their children, named one by one. Out of that fervent prayer, he pioneered a ministry and opened a church in the tribe of Bilaan and Balsinang, Santo City, Philippines, since I'm capable of speaking Bilaan fluently. I can still reminisce the precious moment where I was interpreter as he preached. While my father is preaching anywhere, my mother is busy feeding the kids with lugaw from this WD. She taught a lot of matriarch gospel melodies, and she even tutor and educate some of them to read and write. Our house is always open for free breakfast for those who struggle for food. Even the sick lodge in our house for free. My mother is so kind to mollycoddle them. In my young, innocent, and immature standpoint, these people bother me. I was totally baffled for what is happening. I even tried to ask those people to leave the house. They wear our clothes, dine with our food. Left and right, they were all utilizing our staff. This causes me to have a distaste in the ministry. The burden for ministry is deeply exhausting. I told my father that I will pursue my studies in the city. So in the meantime, during the high school life, I was involved in the band member as Mother Majorette. Yet I never missed church services. One time I was on my way to the church for midweek prayer meeting in Recto Church, Santo City, under by Pastor Menyosa. All of a sudden, I meet my cousins. One of them was Elsie Escolano. Also, my nephews and cousins are there. They entice me not to attend church for that moment and enchant me to see the opening of the majestic carnival. So I yelled and joined them. We ride on motorcycle and we arrived to the carnival. On a distance, I saw a crazy, mad, and lunatic lady. She started gazing me on the nightmare's eye. Then, surprisingly, she started screaming, "My daughter, I have been looking for you for a long time. My daughter, come here." I feel so strong shudder down my spine. I'm sweating and my heart starts hammering on fast speed. I keep off running, but she was darting too, following me. I tried to rebuke her while running. My high heels broke. I started running barefoot. I crossed the street recklessly that create a major traffic of all the tricycles. I saw my companion, they just bash guts and they guffaw over my comic situation. That moment I realized I should have attended midweek prayer meeting at the church rather in carnival. So as I graduated from high school, my father told me to go to study college in Davao. But as we arrived, the entrance exam is already closed. So we were informed to go back in second semester. My father then convinced me to study Bible school to meet some friends and select a church to attend. While waiting for the second semester in college, I was skeptical upon entering Bible school because I didn't apply and I don't have even have a Bible. But because of my father's great effort to convince me, I submit to his advice. Apparently, I did not enjoy my time in Bible school. 1 week, 2 weeks, I sent him a letter that I want move out already. But I was surprised for his response. He told me that the Lord spoke to him that I have a special calling and God will use me in the ministry. So I intentionally left myself to be admitted in the office so that I would be expelled. Contrary to what I expected, I received a lot of loving prayers and great advices from my teachers. It changes my paradigm. Now I try to be a good student because I start dreaming to study my second year in Bible school in Manila. Then the third year in Baguio, fantasized to travel wonderful places in the Philippines. God granted my prayers to study second year in Manila, but I was not able to study third year in Baguio. Rather, I returned to finish my third year in AIM Davao. This was the marvelous moment where I met my first husband, a teacher in the Bible school, Pastor Ray Pestaño. After 1 week of our wedding, he was invited by Reverend Roger Baclan to come to Manila, Davao to attend a conference, informing him to be the interpreter. After the conference, way back to Davao, Ray was infected with hyperpyresia. He was vomiting, high fever, and was admitted at the hospital in Davao. They were found out he is diabetic type 2. He is required to be injected 3 times a day of insulin. Insulin became a new member of the family. Despite the deceased, Pastor Ray was still vigorous and zealous in the ministry. God has given us the chance to move in Manila. He was a teacher and the dean of men in Acts Bible College, while I was the librarian. Ray was appointed to become assistant pastor under Pastor Cesar Pestaño, his elder brother. While working diligently of Acts, we were also able to assist the International Church under Reverend Kenneth Fuller. I was also playing the piano at that time. As times goes by, Pastor Ray and I were able to open a pioneering church at Tatalon, Quezon City, now known as Sanctuary of Praise. Given a chance to study at college, I do hold a master's degree at St. Joseph College, Quezon City, and become a school principal for 7 years at Genesis Christian School of Quezon City, 2 years at Pat's Academy, 2 years in Crown House International School. And I'm blessed to have a beautiful gift from the Lord, my 2 precious kids, Earl and Reese. My husband is so sick for 17 years. He's insulin dependent and he has enlargement of the heart problems and also has a kidney malfunction that even 3 years of his life he has eye blindness problem. But I promise on my vows on the altar that I will love him for better and for worse and in sickness and in health. We also opened a Christian school for a long time, but because of some unforeseen circumstances, it closed. The church center of praise faces unsurmountable odds, especially in the year 2009. One of the gloomiest days in my lifetime, the passing away of my dear husband, Ray. Before Pastor Ray exhaled his last breath, we were praying together with my mom, Earl, and Pastor Cesar. During the lamenting season, it felt like a huge boulder fell over for that unexplainable, excruciating pain behind my back. I was carrying such a heavy responsibility that is beyond me to carry. I was so distressed, a lot of issues come up while piles of bills, financial typhoon blast over my face. But I choose to cling tightly on God and trust the Lord for everything. The church united to appoint me as the new pastor of the church by votation, which I never dreamed in my lifetime. To slowly ease the pain, I devoted my life to the ministry, preaching, praying, teaching, Bible study, and visitation. For 7 years, God has been so good to me. So I pray to God if He would allow me to marry again, I pray that it would still be a pastor. And God granted my prayers. Now I am married to a great man, pastoring in United Pentecostal Church, First Apostolic Church in Guymon, Oklahoma, Reverend Gordon Allen Pace. This is my journey, a triumphant journey, not because of what I have or what is in me, but because Jesus is with me. My journey is not always milk and honey, laying on a bed of roses. My life is filled with ups and downs, and that makes life beautiful, isn't it? There are times I laughed so hard, and there are times I cried a lot. I have climbed the apex of mountain to feel euphoric. But most of the time, I have walked through the valley of the shadow of death, where I don't have no choice but to embrace pain and become miserable. However, Jesus never promised that the journey will be easy, but He promised that the journey will be worth it. I'd rather face a stormy ocean with Jesus on my boat than to journey in peaceful ocean without Jesus on my side. And this is my journey with Jesus Christ. Thank you, and Lord bless you all. God bless. Praise the Lord.